This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Baruch Haba. We're continuing Mishna Berura, Daf Hashavua, Siman, Lamed, Beis. We are up to Seif, Beis. So Rabbi Yeager told me that the Seifrim say it takes about 8 hours to write a pair of tefillin, so it's going to be tough not to talk at all, b'shum dibur klal, in between. So I never heard that you could buy a pair of tefillin that the Seifrim did not speak out at all in between, but I'm sure if it was possible to do, right. So I'm sure if it was possible to do, they would figure out a way to market it. So the fact that nobody ever heard about it, that means it's probably not available. If it was, you would know about it. Seif Beis. Shel Rosh yichtov kol achas b'klaf levada. In the Shel Rosh, you should write each Parsha in a separate klaf. The Shel Yad kozim kol b'klaf echad. And the Shel Yad, you write them all on one klaf. So what's the reason for this? Says the Mishna Berura, b'klaf echad, midechsiv v'haya la'ois al yadcha. As it says, it should be a sign on your hand. Demashma ois echad. One sign. Kalamer bayis echad, one bayis. Ukeshem shu ois echad mi bachutz. Just like it's one sign on the outside, kach yesh li ois lechatchila ois echad mi b'fnim. It should also be one ois on the inside. Shetiyal klaf echad should be on one klaf. So the Mishna Berura says that this halacha, that the Shel Rosh should be on separate klaf and the Shel Yad on separate on one klaf, that's learned out from the pasuk. Because since the Shel Yad should be one ois means one bayis. So the same way it's one bayis on the outside and one ois on the outside, so it should be one ois on the inside. But in the Shel Rosh, where the pasuk says, "V'haya la'is ayadcha v'haya la'is al yadcha u'letaytafais beineinecha," and therefore it seems like it's supposed to be 4 batim. So therefore the parshas need to be written on 4 klaf. Now the Mishna Berura doesn't say how do you know that the Shel Rosh is 4 batim. That the Mishna Berura doesn't say what the makar of that is. Now it's interesting. Let's finish on the Mishna Berura. V'chol zarak lecharchila. This is all lecharchila. Now the Dirshu says when the Mishna Berura says that this is lecharchila, it's lecharchila that the parshas of the Shel Yad are on one klaf and the Shel Rosh on 4 klaf. But regarding the ois mi bachutz, that the Shel Yad is one bayis and the Shel Rosh is 4 batim, the Shulchan Aruch says later on in Mem Zayin that it's ma'akev. Therefore, if the Shel Yad has 4 batim, it's not good. It has to be one ois from the outside. That's definitely ma'akev. What's not ma'akev is the parshi ois. It says the Mishna Berura Chumash Yisrael Kol HaKamim B'Simem Zayin. B'dad the tefillin Shel Yad tzarech lios gamkein kosav davka b'dalet amudim. The tefillin Shel Yad that we say is on 1 klaf, but it's on 4 amudim. On 4 columns, Kol Parsha ba'amud acher. Each Parsha on a different amud. So now, this is the halachic reason. We once said over in the past, from the Vilna Gaon, that what's the reason that the Shel Yad is 1 bayis and the Shel Rosh is 4 batim? So there's an idea as follows, that the purpose of tefillin is to subjugate one's senses to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now there are 5 senses. There's a sense of sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch. So you have 4 senses on your head: sight, smell, hearing, and taste. And you have 1 sense in your hand: touch. So the Gra says, therefore, the tefillin Shel Rosh has 4 batim to subjugate the 4 chushim, and the tefillin Shel Yad has 1 bayis to subjugate the 1 sense. So from here we learn the purpose of the tefillin is to subjugate the chushim. Some want to say, based on that's one of the reasons why you have to say Kriya Shema wearing tefillin. It's not just because you're saying ukshartem and you have to tie it, because the whole purpose of wearing tefillin is to subjugate your senses to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is also one of the purposes of saying Shema. We know that when a person says Shema, they cover their eyes with the 5 fingers. Rabbeinu Bechaye writes that the 5 fingers correspond to the 5 senses. Each finger is meshamesh another sense. So the pinky fits conveniently in the ear. So you could get the pinky in the ear. And the next finger over is for the mouth. Somebody has something on their mouth, they usually one second. We'll go to the middle finger for a moment. The middle finger is for touch. It's the longest and it's the widest. So it has the greatest surface area for touch. The next finger fits conveniently in the nose. Don't try it at home, but that's the tachlis of that finger. The goidel is for the mouth. The people have something in their mouth, they wipe it with the thumb, and this finger is the eye. That's what Rabbeinu Bechaye writes. Some even write the numerical value of Zeres, Kmitza, Amma, Etzba, Goidel is the same as Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. So that's a remez that you cover your eyes. You cover your eyes with your 5 fingers when you say Shema, because you're subjugating your senses to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore the tefillin Shel Rosh has 4 batim, because the Rosh has 4 senses. The tefillin Shel Yad is 1 bias, because the tefillin Shel Yad is 1 sense. Okay, Rabbi Sai. That's what we have today. We'll continue Be'ez Hashem tomorrow in Sif Gimel. Wishing you a wonderful day. Afreilich and Chanukah. Kol Tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.